Okay, hello. So I've decided to do a Young Royals character tier list, and it's kind of going to be involving just all the characters that I remember, and also like all the characters that I think are kind of more relevant, I guess, or just characters. Um, I don't know, just ones that I can think of, but also like I found this tier list, and then I added some of my own because I couldn't really recognize some of the people, so I kind of had to just put my own in, but I couldn't delete the pictures, so they're just kind of still there. But anyway, so I'm going to just so it's kind of going to be like a season 3 kind of character list, because some of the characters have grown and a bit better, so they're going to be higher up, and then obviously some are going to be lower because they've kind of got worse, and then some like one of them was only in season 2, like Marcus, like he wasn't in season 3, but he's still here. So I'm just going to get my screen recording sorted. So this is what it is. I mean, I didn't actually read it before, but Gotta Stan, You're Good, Yeah, Not Really Sure, Air, and Burn in Hell. So these are the characters I've got. I had to write the names down because obviously my phone is what I'm recording this on. So I've got the names, and also so I'll do like the main 5 last. So I'll obviously start with these ones. So let's just start because I can't be bothered. So obviously Eric, Prince Eric, whatever. Obviously at first we think he's great, amazing, and whatever, because that's what they all say. They all say he's like perfect and stuff. Obviously he's not. No person is perfect, so we should have really realised that. But Eric, right? Eric was. I mean, I would say he was in Good Year at first. You know, like I would have put him in Good Year at first, but I would probably put him in Air because he's not like a burn in hell. Like he's probably still, kind of a good person, but also now that we know that he kind of, made all that, he like made it so that like August and like all the others that were in August year had like the worst first year ever, and like it probably continued. Like obviously we don't know the story. We don't know if Eric was forced into it or if it was just Eric that was the leader of it, because he was the prince. So obviously you would have thought he would be like up there, but when Wilhelm was there, he wasn't really up there either. He was kind of just there, and August was kind of like, in season 1 it was kind of just like August was still head boy and stuff. So whatever, I would say that's probably it for Eric. We don't need to really speak about him that much. So the next one is therapist Boris. Now I don't really remember if Boris was in the first 2 seasons because I didn't really care about looking really about that. But in season 3, he kind of helped August. I think the therapy that they were doing with August and Wilhelm actually did kind of help, because they both kind of, in that last episode, they kind of like talked a tiny bit about like apologizing to each other and stuff. And I thought that was a really good conversation. So I think he really helped. I think that was a good conversation he and August had. Like, he tried to help him with that. So I would say he's good, yeah. Maybe Gotta Stan, but like I would say Gotta Stan is going to be from the like top favorites. Whereas this guy, we don't really know a lot about him. I think he's great, but like I wouldn't say he's like that amazing. Next one we're gonna go for the Queen. Now, I have a kind of a different take to a lot of people, because a lot of people just hate her, like just because she, doesn't listen to Wilhelm and all that stuff. She's not really a good mother or a queen, but she is primarily a queen. It's kind of like how when I was watching Queen Charlotte and that stuff, like it was obviously she hadn't paid attention to her children because she is too busy being a queen and kind of trying to like not listen to what's going on and stuff. So she's kind of trying to like put her mind off the king and stuff. So in this case, she's trying to put her mind off losing her oldest son, who was supposed to take over from her. So obviously she'll be very, I don't know, very, like, her mind will be somewhere else at the same time. She's like grieving, but she also has to take care of somebody who doesn't really want to be the king. She has to like deal with all these things. But also she isn't a good mum, so, and I don't think she ever probably was, but anyway, no, I would probably put her in air, probably behind, because yeah, she isn't great, yeah, she's not amazing, she comes around in the end, but she's also not good, like she's not really sure, because, you know, I mean, I probably would put air above not really sure, but I don't really know, but like she's not, you know, I wouldn't say this tier is like supposed to be anywhere close to burn in hell. Like I wouldn't burn either of these characters, but like obviously she needs help, like she needs therapy too. This dude, like he barely talked, like I think he's supposed to be like the stepdad, right? I think, if I remember rightly. Anyway, he's fine. He's like, he doesn't really do much. He barely talks. Like, I liked the fact that when Simon was there, like before Wilhelm went all crazy and shouted at them both, I like that he was trying to like engage Simon into the conversation, and like he was trying to talk about Simon's life and stuff. So I liked him for that. So I don't know, I would probably put him like around air too. I don't think he says air. Wait, no. Yeah, I know. He's definitely here. Like he's not as air as the other two. Like, in fact, actually, hold on. I'm gonna move her to the front because I want to have like the most air at the front. So that's how I'm gonna do that. Yeah, I don't really have much to say about him. But Marcus, I would put burn in hell. Like, obviously, Marcus, like, you're kind of not supposed to like him, I guess, at first. Obviously, I don't think many people did like him anyway because of what he does to Wilhelm. Like, I feel like some people didn't kind of realise that reacted to it, that he was manipulating Simon. Like, obviously, Simon was using him to get over Wilhelm, which didn't work. But also, like, it does kind of suck that he, you know, was being manipulated to like do stuff, and it just kind of sucks. But anyway, whatever. Sorry, my mum just sent me a message, so I was reading it that way. Anyway, no. So next, I mean, we don't really need to talk about Marcus that much, I don't think. He was fine. He was, you know, I mean, he was alright at first, because I mean, I don't really care when there's somebody that comes in between a couple, because, you know, sometimes it can be good, sometimes it can give growth to one of the other people, you know, or both of them sometimes, and I do like that, but I also think that some people are made to be there so that you can hate on them. Like, I think Marcus was there to hate on him, because he was trash, but this guy is Nils, right? That he is the other guy that is with Vincent. I finally found out that Vincent's name is Vincent because I kept saying some other name, I think. But Nils, I wouldn't say Nils is as bad as Vincent. I feel like he's a bit better. Like, I feel like I'll put him in not really sure because he's not like good, but he's also not air. Like, he's not like, you know, I have thoughts on him, but I don't have like, I guess I have more thoughts on Eric than I have on him, because the only two scenes that I really care about him in is when like, when him and August are like looking at each other, and then they have that like talk in August's bedroom about like the ceremony thing that obviously Eric and his friends did to their year. Like all that stuff, and then obviously the talk that him and Wilhelm had when Wilhelm was asking about Eric having like different lovers and stuff, like different relationships. So that was the two like times I really cared about him. Like the rest of the time he was just with Vincent and August, and sometimes just with Vincent, and obviously at the end he said that he likes guys, but he hasn't found anyone he actually likes. And I think throughout a lot of people thought that him and Vincent were kind of like together, like kind of. But I mean, I don't really know. He could have been like they could have been together, but I feel like they probably weren't. I mean, I feel like they definitely weren't. But like a lot of people were interested in the fact that like Vincent didn't hate on him, because I mean, Vincent was never homophobic. He just hated Simon for like what was it, like his views and stuff, like the fact that he's poor and they're all rich and stuff like that. I forgot like the name for it, but you know that it's the views he has that he hates. And then obviously he hated on Wilhelm because of the fact that he was with Simon, because of the fact that Simon is like, I don't think he ever hated on him because it was a guy, but like whatever. Next, so I mean, I've just literally talked about him. Vincent. So like, let's just put him. I'm gonna put him in Burn in Hell as well. Come on, what are you doing? What the hell? Anyway, no, Vincent is definitely in Burn in Hell. I think. Oh my god, what is happening? Why is it doing that? Get down there. Why is this like, it's like freezing and stuff. Like I don't know what's going on. Now I want Vincent to be in front of Marcus, because I think I would hate Vincent more. Like I think Vincent is more trash. Like I don't know, because in a way Marcus hasn't done like loads of bad things. He's just done one to Simon, like I think, from what I remember at least. I don't remember him actually doing anything wrong, apart from obviously the stuff that he did to Simon. But like with Vincent, he's just kind of like he's kind of a mess, but also like sometimes he's smart, like with the like sit down like thing they did, like it got their stuff back, you know, it got their like things. So I don't know, that I mean, I guess that was good, but no, I think I would put Marcus above Vincent actually. So let's just leave it like that. And now we're gonna go to, what's his name again? Ayub. Oh my god, I don't know how you say their names. I like this guy. I'm gonna put him in Gotta Stand, because I do like this dude. Like I think he has a good like personality. I like the fact that throughout the time, like him and Roche, like they never left Simon, you know, like they never left him. Simon never left them. Like they were still great friends throughout. And I think a lot of the time in a lot of the season, I think in all three of the seasons, they gave a lot of good advice, and you could tell like why they're friends with Simon. You could tell like why they're friends with each other. You can just see like their friendship and like how close they are. So obviously let's just move Roche to where she will be, which is up here. Like I don't think it matters who goes first, because they're both kind of just in the same lane. Like I'm just gonna leave it as it is, because they're both amazing. Like you don't even need to think about it. Like they're both amazing characters. Like there's not much to talk about with them, because they don't have much of a storyline outside of just being Simon's friend. Like we don't really see them alone, just the two of them, so it's always with Simon. But I really liked the first season when like obviously Ayub, like he could tell that Simon liked Wilhelm and stuff. He could tell it straight away, and that's just showing how close they are. It's just so cute. So next, I think this is Stella, right? So I couldn't tell who this girl was, and then I couldn't tell who this girl was, and I thought that both of them were Stella, but I still don't know who this girl is. But this one's definitely Stella, so I would put her in Burning Hill. Let's just put both her and Frederica in the same one, because all right, I'm putting them at the end because they're not as bad as these two, but like I hated their views on everything. You know, like how they were trying to get like Felice to kind of leave Sarah like in her memories and like just forget about her, and they were just kind of using money to like solve everything, which is not how the world works. And it just kind of sucks that out of them, like I forgot her name, is it Madison? Madison was a really good character. Like I liked Madison, but I did not like those two girls. Like everything they said in season 3 just got me so irritated. And then when they actually got together, I didn't even care about it. You know what I mean? Like it's the fact that those two lesbian characters, like they were just so like mean, and like just the views they had weren't good. So the fact that they got together, like I didn't even care, because it's not good like representation, you know what I mean? Like it's kind of sad that they had to be like they were. It's kind of the same as like obviously Henry and Walter, like those two, like they kind of start off going against Simon and stuff, and then they're kind of friends with Wilhelm and kind of Simon too. So they kind of do obviously not know everything about like being poor and all that stuff, like that world, but like they also learn a lot as well. So even though they don't really understand the way other people live, it's like they live in the bubble, and it's not their fault that they do. It's just the way they were brought up. But with these two, their views were just so bad, like in the stuff they were doing, even when it's not even a political thing. Like she was just like, they were both just like, just get over her and stuff. Like Felice and Sarah were like besties. You can't just get over someone that quick. So of course she's not going to move on that fast. Like Madison in that made me a bit more hopeful, but even then I was like, like Madison was a bit better, so I'm gonna put Madison in not really sure, because she's not like, I'll put her at the top because she's getting closer to Your Good Yeah. Like she's not exactly Your Good Yeah. Maybe she is. No, wait, maybe she is. I'm gonna put her underneath the therapist Boris, because she's not terrible, but she's also not amazing. You know, she's not as bad as those two, but she's just kind of there a lot of the time. She does kind of help, obviously, in the first season, and the second season I think she's a bit more relevant, I would say, because in this season that she was just kind of in the background of those two a lot of the time. So anyway, let's just move on. This dude, I did not like him. I don't think he was, where shall I put him? I think I'll put him here. Come on, move. I'll put him around there. Yeah, I think that's good for him, because I don't even remember this dude's name, but I remember that he was like homophobic and stuff. He was a bit trash, so we can ignore him. I don't really have much to say about him because I don't really care. Linda, come on, Linda. Linda's a great character. I'm gonna put her here because I think they're all three about the same, so it doesn't really matter like who's first and stuff, because they're all about the same. She's a great character. She is such a nice mom. Even when when everybody finally told everybody about like what happened, like all the parents kind of found out. No, I really like her as a mum. I think out of all the mums we've seen in this show, I think she's definitely the best. Like, I don't think we really if you kind of compare her and the Queen, like, she's obviously a good mom. She's always trying to be there for both her children, like, even when, like, you know, even when, like, in the season she kind of hates that she didn't know anything that was going on and stuff. It was kind of trash in that way, but obviously she was still there for Simon, and she still wanted Sarah to come home. Like, she didn't want her to like stay at her dad's forever, so she still loves her children, even though obviously stuff was going wrong for her. I better hurry up because this laptop is gonna die. The dad, see, in the other seasons, obviously, he was a bit iffy, but I think in this season, he did really good, and then he went downhill, so I'm going to put him in not really sure, because even though he wasn't, like, trash, he was still trying at first for Sarah, and then obviously everything went wrong because he went out for drinks with his friends instead of picking her up and taking her to the a driving lesson, so that was his problem. Henry, I love Henry. I know that this is going to be like a hot take or whatever. I'm putting him and Walter at the top. Like, they're going to go behind them still. But, like, I freaking love these two. Like, I think it also is just because I ship them so much. Like, obviously, they're probably not a real couple. I think they're just, like, besties. But the way they look at each other and the way they just are always together, even when, like, they don't need to be together, like, they were still next to each other when they were doing the phone calls and stuff, and it's just so funny to me. Like, they really just didn't need to be next to each other in those moments. But anyway, no, I love the two of them. I've done so many TikTok edits on them. I've done so many, like, I think in my YouTube videos I've talked about them, you know, in the reactions I've done a lot of the time. Like, they're just so cute. I really just love both of them, and they're just, I just hope that, you know, in my mind, they are together. And I'm happy that they never actually went out with anybody, so it never got broken. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying with that. I don't really have much to talk about them on because, like, you know, they're not really, they're like really side characters. So they, even though they're there all the time, they don't do a lot. Felice. Now, I'm going to put Felice up here. I'm putting her at the top of this list right now because you've got to stand Felice. Like, if you don't stand Felice, you're crazy. Like, she was such a good friend. She's probably one of the better characters. She's just, I think even at the start, like, I think actually in season 1 she was a bit iffy to me because of how much she was just always horny. Like, she was, obviously it's not a new thing that you're horny, but, like, she was just so, like, obsessed with Wilhelm, and I'm happy that her and Wilhelm ended up being friends. Like, you can see how much she's grown throughout the seasons if you just watch all of her scenes. And obviously her and Wilhelm, like, the friendship they have, the friendship her and Sarah had, like, it really just shows how much of a nice girl she was. And then obviously she wanted Sarah back, but she also didn't want to have Sarah have August because that would have been betraying Simon and Wilhelm again. And I really do understand her frustration with Sarah, and I understand why she also couldn't forget her. And I'm just really happy that in the end of the show, she actually did forgive her and she went with her, you know, like, all 4 of them left in the car, like, her, Wilhelm, Simon, and Sarah, like, they all went. And I think that was a really good ending for them. And especially her character, I think she just really needed a good friend to talk to. Now, Wilhelm, I'm going to put Wilhelm behind Felice because I love Wilhelm, but he had a lot of problems. Like, he had a lot of issues. Felice is definitely a better character than him. Like, his growth only started in episode 6, and it only, like, obviously it's gonna have to keep growing, but obviously it kind of was just so sudden in episode 6, because I think it was just him realizing that because Simon's not there, he's gonna have to think about how he's gonna be alone in this place. So obviously that's when he had to realize he needs to change and, like, not do this king stuff. And I'm happy that he kind of realized that, because obviously he would have lost Simon. Like, that would have been absolute trash if he did. But I also think in a way that they should have broken up. And I know that this is probably not a good thing, but I think he, I don't know, it's hard to decide, because I don't want him to be king, but I also don't want August to be king. I wanted them both to kind of give it up. Like, I wanted August to give it up first, and then I wanted Wilhelm to give it up after, and I wanted them all to just be in their couples. Because the whole reason August was being the way he was being was because he is, like, trying to be the king as well. Like, he's trying so many different things to get in that good spot, but also he should have never done any of that stuff, because obviously the king, I mean, he was trying to, I'm guessing he was just trying to get Wilhelm away from being the king. Like, if people realize, like, he could be gay, you know, they might get rid of him from the king spot, and then he might get closer to it. And that's what August wanted at the start of season 1, and then obviously everything changed after that. But anyway, this isn't about August, this is about Wilhelm. No, I think Wilhelm definitely had some good growth, but I think he just didn't have enough of it for me to really be satisfied. Like, he just still kept shouting when he thought something was wrong, and, like, he goes off on one a lot. And like, even when he found out that stuff about Eric, like, obviously he's gonna not be handling it well, but he still shouted at Simon. Like, Simon wasn't, he wasn't saying that Eric and Sarah are the same type of person. He was just trying to compare, like, his own thoughts about it, And then obviously with there's just so many moments where Wilhelm just isn't an adult, and Simon is just very much more like an adult more than him, But anyway, let's just mature more than him. That's what I mean. Simon, like, I'm definitely putting Simon above both of them. Simon is definitely, out of these three, the best character. Like, he just, I mean, I guess Simon probably is the best character. Like, if we're talking about all 3 seasons, then Simon's definitely the best character. He's had the most, like, growth. He's had, like, even when like, people hated on him, like, stuff like that, he lost his, like, he lost his love for singing. He lost a lot of, like, he needed to get out of the royal, like, zone. So I really understand why he needed to leave Wilhelm and why everything needed to change, because he didn't want to be there. He didn't deserve to have to be there either. Like, it kind of sucks that it's still in my mind, obviously, after season 2, like, at the finale of season 2, like, I'm still thinking about the fact that he did all that, like, Wilhelm saying all that stuff about, like, Simon, and, like, the, like, last speech that he does. I don't like the fact that speech, he did it without Simon knowing, like, and then obviously with Sarah, like, she calls the police about, like, August and stuff without Simon knowing, so everything, like, goes wrong because Simon's dad, like, had the pills and stuff. So it just really sucks that, like, 2 of the things that, like, are probably the biggest things in his life, like, had to happen by his boyfriend and his sister, 2 of the people he trusted. And obviously after season 2, like, it works out kind of, like, it doesn't really, but it's kind of like it's kind of interesting how after that like speech, they know that they're boyfriends and everything goes wrong because the public hates it. Some public likes it and then some public hates it, and it's like, I don't really know if you should have said it. Like, I feel like Wilhelm should have talked to him about it before he did it, but whatever. No, Simon's definitely the best character, like, out of these three. I've only got two left, so let's just finish it and then we can talk about it. So I know that this is going to be a hot take too, but I am putting August here, and I'm putting Sarah here too. I think, yeah, that's my final list, I think, because for me, August had such good growth. Like, obviously, season 1 and 2, him were kind of, I mean, especially season 1 him, like, I would have put him in Burn in Hell for sure. And then in season 2, I probably would have put him in Not Really Sure. But now I would put him in Gotta Stand, because for me, yes, he's above Wilhelm. Probably shouldn't be. I'll think about it. But no, I think August has such good growth. Like, I think for me, he probably had the most growth, the best growth. And I know a lot of people hate talking about, like, him and growth, because, like, he doesn't deserve to have, like, any happy things and whatever. But, like, I'm pretty sure a lot of the stuff he did, like the boy on boy thing that, you know, when he saw, like, Simon and, like, Wilhelm, he probably thought, like, everything is bad, like, everything like that is bad because of what Eric and his year did to them when they were in the first year. Like, that would have been trauma, you know? That would have been traumatic for any child, for any adult, whatever age that is, that he was at that point. Like, that would have been trauma. So, obviously, he's going to think of it as a bad thing. He's going to, like, think of that. And I mean, I'm not trying to justify him doing it, because that was, like, a terrible thing that he did. But, like, I can also see why he would have done it. But also, him and Sarah was such a good relationship, and I think there's a lot of people that say, like, Sarah was good for him but he wasn't good for Sarah. But I think the thing is, they were good for each other in the relationship, but I think the bad thing was it was bad for Sarah in the way of, like, her outside relationships. So it was bad because Felice and Simon and, like, Wilhelm, like, she was betraying them, you know, essentially. It wasn't more like she and, like, August and Sarah are just, like, kind of a couple that I want to be together. So in my head, at the end of the season, like, August lets go of the crown as well, and then at some point years later, Sarah and him get back together. That's my canon in my head. So even if it's not true, I don't care, because we don't have a story going on after this. So that's my headcanon, you know what I mean? So anyway, so yeah, the reason I've put them where they are here, like Simon, Felice, August, Sarah and Wilhelm, like, I think I'm gonna leave them like that just because for the main 5, I think that's how I like them, you know, especially in this season. Like, if we're talking about just season 3, then this is how it would be. Because if we're talking about 1 and 2, like, August would be, like, the bottom still. But for me, in this season, Wilhelm and Sarah were definitely worse. Like, Sarah wasn't even that bad. Like, I think her and August probably in the same boat. But, like, Wilhelm was, like, you know, he wasn't exactly amazing until the last episode, I would say. Because everything was just going wrong in his life until that point. But yeah, I would say August. So obviously, tell me what you think about the list I've made. Like, if you disagree, agree, whatever. I don't know who these 3 are. I think this is Felice's dad, and I don't remember who these other 2 are. So just tell me, like, if you agree, disagree, whatever. Just tell me what you think about this. Obviously, if I haven't really explained it well, just tell me, and I'll tell you why I've put them in these places. I think I may end up moving some of them. We'll just see, but that's where I am right now. And I would like to hear what everybody else thinks. If they think this is some trash, please tell me, because obviously this is my own thoughts on these characters, that who's changed, who hasn't, who's kind of changed in the last few seconds, who's gotten worse, and just tell me what you think about any of them as well. Thank you.
That was a lot of nonsense.
Can but be kidding.